What is going on, everyone? Tim from Tierfon Orbital. So today I'm going to be taking a little bit of a liberty and talking about a personal install. This is going to be my personal install on the Solo Sabers CODA. Listen, I cannot speak highly enough about this hilt. All right, so sorry, I had an Apollo issue. I cannot speak highly enough of this hilt. All right, I love this hilt, but Jeremy is a good friend of mine, so it might be a little biased. But from a consumer and a lightsaber fan and a custom prop standpoint, this hilt is rad. All right, everything from the profile of this hilt, the size, it's just such a great looking hilt. This has become my daily driver. This is one of my favorites, not only because it was done and designed by a friend of mine, but just because I love it. It's just such a great looking hilt, right? So I wanted to put an equally special install in it. So I went about designing a hybrid chassis install for this that's got a couple of extra tidbits, right? So we've got these really keen holes here in the upper section of the hilt, right? This chamber is hollow. So I wanted to take advantage of that. Some folks have been putting neopixels in here. I think Jeremy does that. I put a crystal in here. So there is a crystal inside of this to act as a crystal chamber, right? So I want to talk about all of that. I obviously want to talk about the chassis itself, and then we will do a demo, right? So with all that out of the way, let's come into Fusion. Okay, so here it is. This is the chassis that I designed for the Solo Sabers CODA. All right, I'm going to be flipping between Shaper and Fusion for this one because there is something that I want to do that it's just easier in Shaper, but we'll get to that in a second. All right, so obviously, 28 millimeter chassis, 28 millimeters internally in the grip in this. So this is something that I really appreciate when installers also design hilts because they know what people want, right? People want 28 millimeter speaker, myself included. I want my hilts to have a bigger speaker. You've got better bass, better audio fidelity. So plenty of room on the inside of this to fit a 28 millimeter speaker. And when you do that, you also have room to play around with a stacked board and battery setup as well as a battery cover. All right, so at the bottom here, I've got a 28 millimeter speaker. In this build, I put a dark side bass speaker from Smuggler's Outpost. I've got some wire channels here to bring my leads all of the way up to the Profi board, right? So I've got a kill switch down here and my negative battery tab as well as my speaker leads. They all come up those two channels up into the Profi board section, okay? The Profi board does slide up underneath this lip and then pull forward underneath these forks to help secure it into place. And then around the other side, I've got my battery cover. All right, this is held in place with some neodymium magnets. All right, and then up top, this is the brass reveal section, right? So something that I haven't done in a while is add doors to a chassis. This is not easy. There are a lot of obviously moving parts when it comes to adding functional pieces to a chassis like this. So adding doors is difficult. I've done this previously for a TFU2 chassis install, and it was like a door that swung on, it's basically like a U-shaped hinge. And that works, but it's just a little delicate, right? So for this one, I did an actual hinge mechanism. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this lower chassis section. Okay, and let's get rid of the battery cover. So underneath here, there are two holes. So what I do is there is I use 1 millimeter piece of brass rod to act as my pin for that hinge. All right, let me get around the other side with this where this door is open. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this door. So that brass rod comes up through these two hinges and secures that door in place, right? So that is how that door swings. Let's hop into Fusion really quick because I do want to show how the door swings. This is just easier to do in, this is Shaper. This is just easier to show in Shaper, right? So here's the door. It swings on that hinge, right? Okay, so I knew that I really wanted to get doors in this, and I'm really, really happy with the result. The only thing that happened, which I did not take into account was clearance. So if you can see in here, as you swing this door open, it's getting stopped in the body of this part here, right? So that door can only swing open a little bit. In my next design, or if I ever do another one of these, I will probably clear out some of this greebly work and make like a trench. That way that door can swing all the way open. So this is one of the things, man, when you start doing parts like this, like functional moving parts on a chassis, there's a lot to take into account. A hinge mechanism, making sure your clearances are all right, making sure that your magnets line up, right? So both of these doors swing closed and are secured with 3mm magnets, neodymium magnets. So that's how the doors stay closed, okay? But just a lot to think about when you're designing a part like this. Both of the lenses or the windows are done in a clear acrylic or clear resin. And then underneath them, I've got some accents, right? So once you start getting small like this, there's just not a lot to do, but I wanted to have something underneath these, not just like decorative greeblies. So behind each door is a rectangular LED, right? So there's one up here, and on the other side, there's one down here, a blue and a red, all right? Well, other than that, just some, extra accents and greeblies along the whole body of this part. Some like heat sink fins I put in here, okay? Just try to get as much detail in this as I could, and I'm really happy with how it came out, okay? So let's show everything else now. Come back up top. So that's it. That's the whole chassis. The chassis is secured in place with a set screw up here. And then on top of all of this assembly, I have a very simple crystal holder. So this is that inside of the hilt, that hollow chamber, that cavity where those 3 holes are. And I've just got a single quartz point that is lit with one single neopixel, right? We'll get a better look at that when we come up top. But that is it. That is the CODA hybrid chassis. All right. So let's come up top. Okay, so here it is, the CODA from Solo Sabers. I cannot speak highly enough of this hilt, okay? However, I also wanted to make this mine. I wanted to make this personal to me, and there are a few things that I did to do that, okay? Obviously, the chassis is something that I really spent a lot of time and worked on. I wanted something special to be put in this. And then, of course, I've got that crystal inside of this chamber. Another thing that I did was have my buddy Jeremy etch something for me, right? So Jeremy has started etching stuff in-house, laser etching rather, and I wanted to do something custom for my CODA, okay? So this is an Ahsoka starmap, okay, that I have also modified to have the starmap and insignia from the Mars Perseverance Rover, right? In the middle here, you can kind of see it. I'll probably do a graphic of it right now, put it up on screen. But that's what this is right in the middle here. I'm a huge fan of space and space travel, and that's just something that I wanted to do that was unique to me, right? So that's what you see in the center here. But the laser etching, gotta stay on camera here. The laser etching in this shroud is awesome. I'm loving seeing what Jeremy is doing in-house with his laser etch stuff, and I really wanted to do something special with this. So thank you to Jeremy for doing that for me. I also weathered this hilt. All right, so I did an application of matte clear coat on this grip to just knock down the shininess of the grip a little bit. I did knock back these edges on these ridges a little bit as well. One of the things that I did was I knocked around this grip a little bit to weather it, right? So there are some gouges and scratches in it. I took a pair of my Kleins to this grip, and it actually dented the inside of the grip, so much so that the chassis wouldn't fit down the grip correctly. And I was pulling my hair out because I couldn't understand why the chassis didn't fit. Like I double and triple checked my measurements and everything. Come to find out, I put a very aggressive and healthy dent in this grip, and it protruded into the inside of the the grip itself. So I had to take care of that so that my chassis would fit. But yeah, weathered the whole thing. I did put some gouges and scratches in the pommel itself. I did gouge that shroud a little bit as well. Okay. The whole thing has been aluminum blacked, and I'm really happy with the result. Okay. So let's get a look at this chassis. Okay. So here is the chassis. All of the brass has been weathered. Okay. There are those two doors. We'll get a better look at those when we turn this guy on. Okay. So the doors are here. Now, as I mentioned, I don't have a lot of clearance. I mean, they will open and they are functional. But because I did not accommodate for that door on the actual model itself, they won't swing all of the way open. Like, my intention was for both of them to kind of clamshell like this, you know, all the way out, swing all the way out, but they only go out that far, which I'm fine with still, right? And they're held in place with those neodymium magnets. All right. So I don't know if this is going to come out on camera, but there's a crystal in there, right in here. Okay, there's a quartz point in here. All right. And that's it. Just a great design of this hilt, right? So we've got Jeremy's Canon Y switch control box here. This is something that he designed with some, I mean, it makes... I love when I see functional Canon Y replica and Canon Y parts like this. So we've got two tactile switches underneath this clamp card. Super responsive. Okay. And then, of course, that shroud up top. It's just such a good looking hilt. All right. I'm going to come down to the bottom so we can get a better look at the chassis with the camera. All right. So here is that chassis. Okay. Upper brass reveal section with those swing doors. Okay. Something I also did for this, there's that crystal chamber in there. Something I also did custom to me was this blade plug. So this is a custom blade plug that I made for this build. Okay. So that's it. Let's go ahead and get this grip back on. I love this hilt, man. I love the way this hilt feels. It's just such a great, like, balanced hilt. The grip is perfect, a perfect size. Great hilt. Let's put a blade in it. Okay, so this will take a 7/8 inch blade. Jeremy has designed a very, very unique thumb screw around front here that serves as the blade retention. Here is the blade plug that I made for this. This is a Canon Y bulb holder up top here, and then in the middle I've got another piece of camera equipment. I can't even remember where I found that, and that is just in a resin like base. Okay, so 7/8 inch blade. I'm gonna put that in there, and we are ready to go. And guys, it's such a great feeling hilt. Such a great feeling hilt. It's like, I don't know how to describe it. It's just the form factor. Form factor is perfect for swinging. I never tire of hearing dissonance from K-Sith either. This is one of my favorite fonts. Okay. Let's see what else we put on here. Okay. So there's that crystal. You kind of see it in there. Okay. Okay. See what else we got on here.
My little green friend.
Well, I've enabled battle mode. One more. Oops.
Revert.
Okay. One more.
I am Luke Skywalker.
Just a great sounding hilt, great feeling hilt with that like cover tech and the grip. Super unique, man. This whole hilt is just like awesome and unique. There's that crystal in there. Okay. All right. So that's it. That is the CODA by Mr. Jeremy from Solo Sabers. Fantastic hilt. Highly recommend this hilt. This is also one of those hilts that is ripe for customization. So you can etch it, you can weather it. It's just such a sexy looking hilt, right? Really proud and happy for Jeremy because he got another killer design to add to his resume, his ever expanding resume. So anyhow, thank you very much for watching, everyone. If anyone has any questions about this particular install or anything really, please do not be a stranger. And with that being said, may the force be with you always. Have a good one, everybody.